Welcome back to
Nice.
Well, we are 3 seconds into the show and it's already fallen off the rails.
I'm over here looking at this shirt. Not
Damn,
like
them
I knew
pop
we were
rocks hit
starting.
hard.
Oh, right? Shit.
Oh, shit. Well, welcome back to Twice Half That. I'm Anthony.
I'm Attila the Hun. And we're going to pick up where we said
We kind of teased
were.
at the end last week.
Yeah,
getting
with
into Deshaun the rapist. I'm sorry, sexual assaultist.
Rapist. He's a rapist.
I'm so not a raper.
when when we had to write that whatever, that 1 or 2 pages for massage school for whatever.
Yeah.
And I hella missed my typo, and it said the rapist. Massage the rapist. Gabriel came up and he's laughing hella hard. And he's just like, he said, "Really?"
That just makes me think of the fucking SNL Jeopardy skit with Sean Connery.
Yeah, that was great. Damn, they're both dead now.
Yeah.
Fucking Alex Trebek. He was a good dude. Very good dude. Very good.
The fact that he fought through it, like he had, was it stage 4 cancer, and he was still trying to host? Like, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Good dude. Good dude. Good dude.
But yeah, we were gonna, we spoke about it
Glad
briefly.
you remembered. I fucking forgot. I was like, I know we're doing something. I just can't remember what it is. I plead the fifth.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
All right, let's go. Let's read what this dipshit.
So
said.
he hasn't heard the apology at all. He hasn't seen anything, other than it occurred. And this is actually, it worked out that we pushed it an extra week to talk about this because the suspension's officially been handed down. So we can get into all of that.
What is it, 11 games?
11 games, $5 million. And so before I read this, when he signed that extension with them, they structured it in a way to where this year, even if you were suspended the whole year, he only stood to lose like $7 million, even though his contract is a 5-year, $230 million contract. They structured it to where the suspension would only cost him $7 million.
Don't worry. We'll make
So
sure
that
you don't
tells
really
you
pay
a lot
for
about
your crime.
a lot about the business of football, especially the NFL. Like, it's
Particularly Cleveland. They're like, no, it's okay. You could touch more here.
they're so hungry for a star that they're willing to do that. But here's
Brian Leaf. He's available.
to his credit, he did, realize
He's got a better head on him now.
Yeah. He realized he had an addiction problem, sought out help, got clean.
But see, that's what pisses me off. They knew he was fucking around, and they did nothing about it. That's why I don't like college sports. They make a lot of money off of these kids and then throw them to the wolves.
And it's
last time I checked, college is about, the education, not about the fucking football team.
Nah, don't be trying to bring that up. It ain't about the education. It's about making money.
I almost want to get rid of collegiate sports, to be honest, because we're forgetting what the fuck the goal of going to college is. It ain't to party. This country's
unless you go to Chico State.
The military has stated, like, hey, I need intelligent soldiers.
That's exactly
and
what we touched on that last week.
Dumb people. That's a fucking problem.
Yep. But here's the apology. So, it's a 72-word, 20-second apology. So
20 seconds to spit out 72
which
words.
means that it was scripted and rehearsed.
He rehearsed the shit out of
So
that.
for you, just sit there and think about it. If you're not coming off the top of your dome with some, unless you're a battle rapper, you're not coming off the top of your dome with 72 words in 20 seconds. It's not happening. So this was a not even thought out, but a scripted out to where you could read and memorize. And the fact that with everything he's alleged, and most likely even the judge that was the arbiter in the initial appeal said, yeah, it looks like he probably did it, and he probably will again. So
just look at him.
the fact that he's not shown any remorse.
No, when you see him standing back there, the look on his face is like, can we hurry up and get this shit over?
That's exactly what it is. So without further ado, I found a article from the Houston Press, and it has the apology, and then it has a little thing in here where it's a few psychological scientists have studies for 6 distinct elements of an apology, and they kind of go over those. So I thought it would be a perfect one to go over for this. So the apology, the 72-word, 20-second apology, which is probably going to take me longer than 20 seconds to read, goes, look, I want to say that I'm truly sorry to all the women that I have impacted in this situation. The decisions that I made in my life that put me in this position, I would definitely like to have back. But I want to continue to move forward and grow and learn and show that I'm a true person of character, and I'm going to keep pushing forward. That was his apology.
Nothing about them. Oh, don't worry. I'll get better from this. I won't get caught. Next time I just won't get caught. Don't worry. I've learned that, honestly, I'm not really going to get in trouble for this shit, so I'm just going to keep touching you bitches.
That's essentially what he just said. I mean, that's... none of that seemed very heartfelt. I mean, as far as... that's like when you catch a 6-year-old, a 7-year-old doing something and that they know they shouldn't be doing it. I'm sorry.
That's like getting in trouble in grade school and going... For fighting, I'm sorry you ran into my fist repeatedly. God.
That's the apology that the teacher forces you to say after you've gotten caught doing something you're not supposed to do. Like, it's a joke.
That is...
To even call that an apology is an insult. It's an insult to my intelligence.
That's fucking crazy.
It's an insult to the women that he's alleged to have done this to. You know, it's ridiculous. And it shows that he there's no remorse. He doesn't feel bad. He feels bad that he got in trouble. That's what he feels.
God, that guy's such a douche.
Like, he feels bad that he got caught. That's it.
Yeah.
He feels bad that he got in trouble.
And he's losing some money and
everybody.
And the face that he lost. If you see the look on his face during one of the press conferences when his lawyer's talking, he's in the back like this.
For those of you who are listening and not watching, his face it's all scrunched like he just smelled the worst goddamn thing that you can. Think of a hot night driving past a fucking dumps.
Or you're walking, you're getting a smooth glide going, you're just stepping real good, and then you just get a nice little waft to some strong shit. Ooh, the fuck?
It's that stanky face. That's what he had.
Like, ooh, what is that? Where's that coming from? Who smells like ass? Smell it just wafting up from somewhere. Like, he's such a douche. He's such a douche. You know, it'd be great for Jimmy, so he's not just riding the bench. He goes up there and just completely kicks ass, goes to the AFC Championship game, and they're like, what do we do?
I'll tell you what would happen first off is if Jimmy went there, for those of you who
Jimmy Garoppolo.
If he went to Cleveland, they would start him the first 11 games, and the second that Deshaun was eligible, they'd put him back in. That's exactly what would happen. I mean, there's no way around it.
Well, any defensive player in the NFL that plays against him
being Deshaun.
Yeah, think of your daughters and your sisters. And
think about what Myles Garrett did to Mason Rudolph 2 years ago, where he sacked him, and then allegedly Mason Rudolph dropped an N-bomb on him.
Oh, and then he kicked him, right?
No, he took his helmet off and hit him with it.
Oh, yeah, that's another good one. That's another good idea.
So, think of that as being the lightest you go on this guy. Like, your goal...
It's fucking Mutant League football at that point.
Blitz, like...
Mutant League, you could literally rip a dude's arm off. and then beat him with it. I remember one time, this was on the Sega. They need to bring that shit back. I'm over there like, oh, 99-yarder. A pit opens up, and my dude just falls through, and then they call it a fumble. And you're just sitting there staring at the screen like, you motherfucker. And when you're 12, the rage that pumps. I had to turn it off because I got in trouble. I was like, you motherfucker, you son of a bitch. And then, hey man, what the fuck is your problem? And I'm over there like,
yeah, when you hit that moment and you forget what's around you.
You're like, oh, shit.
And the fact that you're not supposed to be saying that at home.
Yeah, I got in trouble. Turn it off. Oh.
So, these 3 researchers, Ron Lewicki, Beth Pollin, and Robert Lount Jr., have a couple different studies they've done. And there's, 6 distinct elements of an apology. So I won't go into the full detail. I'll just tell you what the score was that they gave, and it's just an affirmative or negative. So expression of regret, what basically says, I'm sorry, which he did, affirmative. Do you think he's actually regretful based on hearing that apology? And you have to assume that it was stated very dryly. There wasn't a lot of emotion in it. Which tells you that
I am sorry for
explanation of what went wrong. Negative. He never
wrong.
wrong. What went wrong? God damn. That R just wants to jump into every one of those words.
Hey, I got a new respect for newscasters. I would be stumbling. Go back to the beginning. I'm sorry, everybody. Get off stage. All right, sorry.
So, he never gave an explanation of what went wrong. So, negative. Yeah, I very much so slowed down and enunciated. This motherfucker about to spit out his water.
Almost. This shit almost got me.
Acknowledgement of responsibility. Apology score affirmative. Barely. Which tells me that someone wrote this out with this kind of idea, this kind of template in mind.
Huh.
There's keywords we got to hit, just like when you send in a fucking.
That means that this was their desired goal
of getting 3 out of the 6 elements.
They settled, right?
They settled. Because the league wanted a full year, but he got 11.
Fuck settling. Never settle. Take that shit the full ride.
Declaration of repentance. Apparently, according to this, it's affirmative.
So, when they do the new Twisted Metal,
basically,
is he going to be the dude that drives the Camaro that goes, repent? Or is Deshaun going to be the dude on the front that gets shot out that goes, repent? He'd be one of the two.
Yeah, he'd be one of the two. I'm trying to think of which one it
would
be.
Well, he would have to be the... Well, he didn't go to jail, so...
That's true.
He could be the driver.
The next step would be offer of repair. There was no offer of any kind of anything.
It was the priest that was the driver of the Camaro.
It was the priest.
It was the priest. Dude, Jesus. They beat the shit out that dude in Arkansas.
Which dude?
You didn't see that? Oh, man, keep going. I'm going to look for it.
All right, so... And then the final step is request for forgiveness. And at no point did he have any... Because he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. I mean, quite simply... This guy is not sorry. He doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. The only thing he's sorry about is that he got caught.
Oh, yeah, our dollar's stronger than the euro.
It's the euro. What the...
Maybe one of them days that a girl goes through.
The euro has been weakening over the last decade between all these countries, trying to get away from it.
Good. The U.S. dollar must be almighty. Where is it? But yeah, I'm really, really pissed off that this dude's getting.
But yeah, the fact that they settled And yeah, it's more than what he got initially, which was 6 games. But I mean, I've said it. I said it on a previous episode. I can't remember which one, but there was. Let's see if I can find the damn thing. There was a thing where. No, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Whatever. Oh, here it is. With the suspensions, the notable suspensions.
Oh, didn't we go through this?
We did. But the fact that now he's got 11 games, which is still less than Vontaze Burfict got for a helmet-to-helmet hit, which is an in-game thing. It's less than Darren Waller got for substance abuse. It's less than Calvin Ridley got this year for betting on his team to win while injured. And it's significantly less than Josh Gordon got for smoking weed. And while, yes, betting on your team, smoking weed, substance abuse, these things are against the rules. You know that when you do it, and you're going to get suspended. So is being a fucking sexual assaultist.
No.
It apparently not. I mean, apparently that...
I'm the fastest molester in the West.
Man, apparently that is completely acceptable. But smoking weed, you need to miss 78 games.
Yeah. Ooh,
betting on your team to win, you need to miss 17 games.
Or better yet, I know it's not the same league, same sport, but what is it? Enes Kanter being let go from the NBA because he's all like, I won't bend the knee to communist China.
Yeah.
And everybody else did. I mean, I like LeBron, but bending the knee to communist China, that really, really, that put a sour taste in my mouth. I know that you're the face of the league, but there comes a time when you really, everybody needs to stand up for this country.
Especially for someone like LeBron, where you get on your soapbox for so many different things, so many different, whether it's a social justice thing but it's like you only care about social justice in a narrow scope. Fuck social justice. What about what China's doing to the Uyghurs, to the to
Uyghurs? He said to the Uyghurs.
It's the same thing. In fact, in some cases, it's worse.
That's nice. This big ass brawl, dude socked the shit out of some random guy, and was like, "Oh my bad, bro, you weren't in the fight."
I got caught up.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Damn, where is it? Ooh. Yeah, the fight's over. Damn, I can't find it. But in Arkansas, it's 3 cops on a dude just molly-whopping the shit out of him. And see, this is a big problem when it comes to policing. They get all hopped up on adrenaline. And let's be honest, I've been told this by cops. They do coke all the time. It's in and out of your system pretty fucking quick. I'm not saying all of them do it, half of them do it, but 2/3 of them do it. Nah. But, I mean, a lot of them do it. And think of the amount of, cops that drink. Everybody knows that there's a large amount of domestic abuse that happens within the home of an officer of the law.
And it's not because they're sober. It's because they go home, and I've seen, they go home and
the job is stressful.
Yeah.
For some. For most of them, and he knows a lot of cops. I know a lot of, I knew of a lot of cops, growing up in the neighborhood, and you see them. I see these niggas all the time. You ain't doing nothing most of the fucking time. I know niggas who got caught with guns, with knives, and literally it's in the bag, it's in my pocket, it's in the back, grab it and pull it out. Nigga, you come and grab it and pull it out. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna put my hands up, you come and grab it, and then everything's all good. They're quick to, there you go. And then they're in for a weapons charge, which is 3 to 6 months? And then they're back out. They know what they're doing, and they know how to react in certain situations, and for the most part, they're just sitting there doing nothing. And when my father-in-law, he used to be
CHP.
CHP,
Which is California Highway Patrol.
yeah, California Highway Patrol, and he was all like, he remembers when the mandate came down, all right, hey, we're gonna start testing for weed and for coke, you guys gotta, whatever you're doing, cut that shit out. And he was like, he remembers, they used to, every once in a while you'd see them, they'd all get together and they'd smoke a joint, help decompress, and, maybe a beer or two. And mind you, this was the late 70s, early 80s, so, shit was very
a little bit different.
And, coke was just making its way onto the scene, and to get a better, feel for what was going on and how, people were reacting, just average people. It's a small slice, but you get an idea, because the comedian Joey Diaz was in multiple places in the United States during the very late 70s and early to mid 80s, that he knew what was going on with coke, and he was doing it a lot, and he could tell you how the country kind of changed around the different waves of how shit came in, and it paints a picture of curiosity around it, because it was really, really expensive, and it was just hitting the scene, so a lot of it was more pure.
It was pure,
It was, and when you hear him say it, he goes, there's a clear, just when you pay attention to how he talks about that, the getting taken back in time, just by touching that memory, remembering how good that coke was compared to garbage shit that he got in like the 90s, or even the mid to late 80s, how much that shit changed. So that lets you know how these dope fiends were, how and why they were reacting.
Oh, yeah.
And, coke is very addictive. And you have the cops, before they started doing that, because coke usually goes along with drinking. People who usually drink a lot.
Oh, I've heard people say, I only do coke when I drink.
Yeah. And it helps me drink more. Oh, what?
Yeah.
So so I snort poison to help me drink poison.
Yeah, I need
so
to drink
I can
more.
Continue the loop. And every cokehead I've ever known, or anybody who's ever done coke in my presence, it's not a bump.
No.
That person, if I have it, I may give him a bump, and I mean give. I'm literally, here you go. And then it's all like, oh shit, and that's usually designed for this motherfucker to come up to me
later,
20 minutes later,
be like, hey,
what's up, bro?
You got some more?
I met this chick, I told her, I got a little blah, 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 and then you go off and, you do it. And, little niggas listening to this, if you got coke, you're getting laid. Chicks that party, that's what they mean. They want to party. And if you have it, I've known a lot of niggas that shouldn't be getting laid that got laid just because of coke. Another reason why cops like to do it, they like to cheat a lot. You're around it. Not saying that that's something that they, go in there doing. It's more
a product of
and a symptom of the stress. And then they are making a decent amount of money. And like I said, it is, I'm not going to take away from the job, because it is, every time something happens, it could potentially be stressful. But for the most part, it's not. And if you're a cop that has any tiny bit of intelligence, knowing people, you kind of get what you're going into. You're like, oh, I'm just dealing with a little dope fiend. I'm just dealing with some stupid moron. And when you look at the numbers, most cops are killed in, traffic accidents. They're not killed in, any type of melee or, gunfight.
Speaking of gunfight, how about that, what was it, Denver?
Where homeboy got lit up in front of the crowd.
And the cops hit 6 bystanders. Innocent bystanders. So you're just going to open up in his fuck everybody else.
While he surrendered, he knew where he was. Yes, he had a gun, but if you watch the video, he's standing like this, leans, does this, and throws it, and then does that. Pop, 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 pop. Like, dude, that means that you're so afraid that there was a legit 3-second lag in you realizing that he
and with
had
that
a
lag,
firearm,
if he had wanted to,
and all
you would have
did-
never got those
no,
shots off.
No, if he wanted, he could have shot all of you, but he didn't because, unlike you, he understood where he was. I've seen so many videos of cops firing at an assailant, and you, another cop, are on the other side of my, and I'm just like this, spraying. Like,
yeah,
that's
there was an
unacceptable.
incident. I guess it was summer 2020, like when all the, various BLM protests and stuff were going on locally in Vallejo, and a guy got shot because a cop mistook a hammer that he had like stuffed in. They were pillaging through a Walgreens or a CVS or some shit like that. He was breaking the law, but he had a hammer in in his belt or in his pants, whatever. And the cops pull up in an SUV, hands up. The cop in the back seat opens fire through the windshield, hits him, kills him. Mind you, he opens up like
Right
this,
here.
right?
That is
Excuse me, right
not
next to the
what you
dude, to the
do.
guy in the front seat. I had after that and stuff like where I work, I interact with a lot of cops, and I had one tell me, if that had been me in the front seat, I would have beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah.
Like that goes to show you that not all cops are this way, but enough of them are that it is a problem. And it's numerous things. There does need to be a little more, like, they're so desperate for officers now that they're taking just about anyone that will apply and putting them in the academy and sink or swim. That's going to bring on a whole wave of people that should not be cops. Honestly, because all you have to do to pass through the academy is be able to, complete the physical demands of it and the classroom demands of it. Like, that's it. It's school. You have to pass PE and you have to pass the classes. So they're so desperate that they're pushing all these people through that shouldn't be cops. There needs to be far more psychological aspects done to make sure that these people are capable of handling the potential stressors in this job, of being able to react appropriately in stressful situations, especially life or death stressful situations. And there needs to be more training. The training is not adequate.
I don't want anybody being a cop under the age of 21. You get a lot of these people come out and it's, they don't know what they're doing. There does need to be a size requirement because, I'll give an example.
There used to be, just like in the military, and then they got rid of it.
Which is dumb. Hey, I am all for women doing,
And his size requirement, I know he's speaking about women right in this moment, but it goes for dudes too. Like, if you're tiny,
you can't do the job.
you're not going to be able to accomplish the job. Like, you're not going to, you can do aspects of the job, and maybe there's ways to get around, like, there's routes to be able to put them in a position to where they can get into the right field in the police force, whether it's investigator, because maybe they do have that mind, they just can't be a patrolman, and they can't be, in any of these situations other than the investigative aspect. So maybe there needs to be something done with that. But it's just like when we worked at UPS. One of the requirements, and I feel like they never really actually made sure you could, they would just ask if you could, but one of the requirements was to be able to lift up to 70 pounds on your own. You lift some?
Which really, with the way, we can't, honestly, the shit we signed. We can't divulge how UPS did their shit, but getting it off the machinery is really easy. When you're actually in the trailer, loading,
especially if you're in one of the newer ones. Especially in the newer ones.
If you're in the newer ones.
Well,
if you're in the older one, it's even easier.
Yeah.
It's like it's designed to make lifting anything over 70 pounds easy, and anything really over 50. They kind of did it another way.
Yeah.
Where they weren't clogging up, the machinery with heavy shit that could potentially do harm to anyone, because that cost money, and at UPS, he could tell you, a lot of the women that work there kick ass. You ain't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
A good, towards the end, it's like...
And there were a few where you're like, oh, dude, no, I want her over any of these dudes.
Yeah, because she works way harder, she doesn't bitch, and she actually lifts heavy packages. And, they're just being lazy. When you really have someone in the trailer, and unfortunately, it's an older woman, it's like, dude, I have to do, twice the work now. Because I'll be doing my thing, and it's like, can you lift this? Can you lift? And, everything. And then it's like,
you can't get a good,
ebb and flow.
Yeah.
Because now it's just you doing the work, and you tire out fast.
And it's like, and every time you start getting a nice flow going, where, okay, I got a good, I got some momentum, you got to stop. Then you restart it. And then
a lot of packages that weigh a lot, and they're struggling with it, and it's all like, dude, man, this isn't fair, because now, this 45-minute stretch, they're essentially just kicking back, chilling.
Yep.
And I'm over here doing all of the goddamn work. And my example is on BART. There was report of someone stole a cell phone.
And this is first-hand experience.
This is first-hand experience. I watched the BART cop come in, a female, probably about 5'5", maybe $120, $130, with all her equipment, like $140 at the heaviest. She had a lot of shit on, and she goes... someone asked her when she came in, like, why are we stopped? Someone stole a cell phone. And she looks down at the guy, and she goes, aggressive. And he was asleep, passed out. He's a dolphin, so naturally he's like this. And he shoots up, huh? What? All scared. And you see her get a little scared, and she was all like, no sleeping on BART. And then she just walks off. You're not going to ask him about the cell phone? That's literally what you came in here looking at him for.
And there's no rule of no sleeping on BART.
No, there isn't.
There isn't.
And first off, that's not how you wake someone up. Two, why would you state that? Go to him like he was a perp, and then not ask someone who obviously should have been asked.
And if not a perp, at the very least, highly suspected.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Speaking of sirens.
Yeah. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you empty your goods? Blah blah. Is this your cell phone? Can you prove that this is your cell phone? Yeah, right. Fuck, you think I'm a drunk? And then to save face for yourself, you turn to me and you ask me the same goddamn question. Nope. What'd she do? She looked and then walked off. And to be honest, with BART PD, they get paid a lot, so they're not. Really
I actually asked a cop recently what the highest paying department in the area is. And apparently, as of recent, it is BART Police.
They do nothing. I could tell you, I'm on BART during the weekend, and when they should be on these trains, they are nowhere to be found. It's all like, you can actually arrest people. You can get shit done. You could keep the train clean. There's a lot of BART PD.
There's a lot of BART PD.
They spend more time in their car driving around the bay than they actually do at the BART station. At every BART station, there should be at
minimum
least,
2.
Minimum
2.
I'll be one nicer and say 1 on the platform.
Minimum 2
at all times.
Minimum
and you do
2.
need 2 so they can walk, meet in the middle, and then shoot back down. There's people shooting heroin. There's people smoking crack.
Yeah.
There's people rolling blunts. Yeah, it's legal, but there's kids out.
Yeah.
You know, there's people smoking weed. It's like,
And-
if you
and-
got your vape
and
pen, you're taking one hit, and then you're putting it away.
And
all
a
right,
lot of these
whatever, you
stations
should,
that this
but-
is stations this is happening at are enclosed. They're not out in
No,
the
they're
open.
not
They're
out in the
enclosed.
open.
They're
They're
tubes. They're subway stations.
You're in the underground.
Yeah. So it definitely is something where they have the officers to man all this stuff. Like they have the
just
personnel.
don't.
There should be minimum 2 officers at each station. And really, it should probably be 4.
I want to see their books. I really do.
Yeah.
I believe they're
Like
full
at
of shit.
minimum 2 per station.
I mean, all of BART.
yeah.
Because let's not forget, you know, a couple years ago, a janitor. How does an
Oh my
accountant let this
God,
go
yeah.
by? A janitor racked up $1 million.
Over. No. Over $1 million in overtime. In overtime. Not okay. The whole thing, just overtime was over $1 million, and they finally found the anomaly, which that should have been a massive red flag after the first week.
You're paying
after the
him.
first week.
How do you not see the hours? It's literally
After the first
illegal.
week, when the time card comes in, you go through. That should have been a massive red flag that it was that much. What he
On
was
one
doing.
of them, he was working like 23 hours a day.
Well, and what he would do is he would clock in and just go sleep in a closet.
Oh, he decked his closet out. His closet was decked out. He just chilled in there, watched TV, listened to the radio. He had a bed. See, he wouldn't clock out. He just sleep there, wake up the next day, and keep working. Or clock out, you know, at 23 hours. So, nobody realizes. How do you not realize that? Working at some of the crappiest jobs there is. These people were like, hey, it's time for you to go. Or when they look at your time clock or your time card, they're like, how did you work 16 hours in a 4-hour shift? He couldn't have been working more than 8, more than 12 with overtime.
Well, and it's after 8.
On average,
after
I think he
8,
was
it should have been
working
a
like
red
16
flag.
to 18 hours
It was
a
like
day.
close to 20 hours a day.
And it's
yeah.
all like, how the fuck is that possible? What that tells me is his supervisor and that person's supervisor above them were all getting a cut of it.
So there had to be something.
Again, which lends me to believe, and BART is literally always raising their fares all the time, and it's like, I see what you're doing, nothing gets done. You're genius logistical people. Oh well, we'll do track maintenance on the weekend. You know, we'll just close, you know, one track between 24th and whatever. And it's like, why? Do it at night.
Was it? No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday, it screwed me.
Yesterday. So the way that BART works is you come into the city from the East Bay, and there's stops. So there's Embarcadero, Montgomery, Powell, Civic Center, 24th Street, 16th Street, Glen Park, Balboa Park, and then you're in Daly City. He's coming from the East Bay. His train stops at Montgomery, which is the second stop in the city. So it wasn't even like, okay, we're going to get you into the city and then you're going to be shuttled. No. They had one track closed, so they just had one train going from the airport to Montgomery and back and forth. So he had to stop there and then get up. It's
asinine.
It's
dumb.
It's Sunday morning that this is happening, and it just should have never been the case.
No, you do that. You perform all track maintenance at night. You have more than enough money. You know, you haven't replaced these trains since you got them.
That's
just
some bitch shit.
Yeah, you see how they're beating the shit out of that guy? Man, if we knew how to work stuff on here, we'd show you, but we're inept, and you'll see it later.
Well, just look up police beat man in Mulberry, Arkansas.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Look, and then he points
yeah.
to the person recording them. And
So
that's what they'll do.
So there are 3 cops on top of this guy. One's legit holding him down. One is near the head, holding him down, punching him. The other one's by his hip, holding him down, kneeing him. And he ain't just like, kneeing him. He is loading up and unloading on him. Like...
And this is what I mean. This is the problem.
What the problem is these people aren't going to face the repercussions they should face. If you or I were to do that to someone, or if you and I were to do that to someone, and it got filmed,
that's malicious wounding.
yeah, we're gone.
And I don't want to hear, oh, well, you don't know what that perp was doing. It doesn't matter.
He's incapacitated at that point.
There are 3
He is
officers.
being held down, and he is not moving.
No, you have. Well, he is to try and just stop.
Stop. But he's not. He's not standing up. He's not.
No. There's no way he could. They're fat. A lot of cops after a while they're fat. You want to know why? Because they don't do shit. I hate to say it, but they
there does need to be
more cops,
just like with the judicial system.
They are
just like with the judicial system. The law keeping aspect of our society needs some reform.
Oh, it needs a lot of reform. Look at what Trump was able to do. He was able to just appoint a bunch of low-level judges that that push that Republican fucking agenda.
It's not even a Republican agenda at this point.
It is, because that's what their goal has been. They know that they don't have the votes to secure, elections, so the only way to really do it is get these lower courts and literally pass shit like, oh, hey, black dude and white guy that vote liberal, I'm now going to make it a lot harder for you to vote in your own area and a lot easier for my people to vote in this area because you have to travel hella far while their shit's right here. They do it in Texas all the time. They don't believe in fair elections because they know that and I mean, when I say they, I mean everyone in power. They seek to hold. Which
is why there's constant gerrymandering and fucking realigning of districts and things like that.
Yeah, they do that shit all the time.
They go back and forth with it. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It's a politician thing.
It's a politician thing. They know how to play ping pong, and that's what they do. And we're the ones that fucking suffer for it. These bubbles, they're manufactured. This shit isn't fake. It's not like, oh man, how do we stop this from happening? You can't. They do it on purpose. The housing bubble from 10 years ago, that shit was designed to blow up so that they could come in and pick up all those houses for pennies on the dollar. Why do you think there's nothing to fucking own now? It's all rent, especially if you're an American. They really don't want us to have the American dream. We are serfs. We live for them. The land that literally is under your feet is owned by them. The house that you're in, you're renting because of them. Why are you renting? Well, I used to own a home, and then, they did some shady-ass practices, and I got screwed out my shit. You
look at that early 2000s bubble, and even the '08 bubble. Really, the early 2000s was the biggest one of it, though, with all the variable rate loans that everyone was getting, where your rate went from like 1% to 20% in 1 month.
See, and then they'll claim that that's capitalism. That's not capitalism.
No, that's theft.
Capitalism is set up to be, you come up with some dumb shit, a scam that's obviously a scam, you're cut the fuck out. But when all the power, literally everybody with money, any policymakers sitting up there, they're like, oh, well, we can literally just take from education to the point where we are now, to where DeSantis is trying to take, I was going to say Vegas, take Florida. He wants to make them dumb, so it's easier to lie to them, so it's easier
Which is amazing to think that it could be any easier than it already is. People have that dude on such a fucking pedestal.
They're literally making it to where the dictionary is not allowed in Florida public schools.
Like some of the books that they've banned are just the most ridiculous.
And this is a call to California to get off your lazy fucking asses and stop buying our textbooks based off of what dumbass religious nuts in Texas think. I don't care about them. They're dumb. They're dumb as rocks, and they're fucking scammers. That's all they do. From top to bottom, the Lone Star State, we do shit our own way. We don't need no help from nobody. You literally get the most federal aid out of any other state in the union. More than Alaska. Talking about you produce all this shit for who? For you. Not even for you. Not even for the people in your state. For all the people up top. You keep fucking them over. Not only do they get fucked over, you are so bad at governing, you put all your eggs in one rickety, shitty basket. Then when it crumbles, you're all like, oh, well, you know what? The victims will pay for it. And you continue to do nothing. Well, that $33,000 bill has to be paid. That was 1 month. Those people, really? Really? That right there is why, and I'm not saying do anything about it, but that is kind of why we have the Second Amendment. That is when you're kind of supposed to be like knocking on their door, not getting pissed off at the FBI because they're doing their job, because your idiot king doesn't know how to do illegal shit properly.
How are you gonna flush you're flushing printer paper down the fucking toilet?
His aides had to tell him, that's not yours. That belongs to the country. Obama's letter to you, that's not yours. That belongs to your museum. Bush's letter to Obama went. Your vice president did everything he was supposed to get sent to, the museum or wherever the hell it's supposed to go. Trump he's an idiot. He wasn't doing nothing. He didn't want to deal with these papers when he was supposed to, yet when he leaves office, that's when he wants to start reviewing them when they're not supposed to be reviewed. And even if he was like, oh, I declassified them, there's a process.
Yeah, it's not as simple as simply saying they're declassified.
Stop blindly following people, especially someone like him. Look at his actual track record. He is and
it's not a short track record.
No,
it is extensive.
And
it's not a couple little things here or there that it's over a course of a few years. We're talking about decades worth of information, many incidences of him basically fucking statements on his character and who he is throughout decades. We're not talking about just in the moment right leading up to and after his presidency. We're talking about 4+ decades.
Look at how he got his money. Who the fuck steals from their siblings from their dying father? That's not a good businessman. That's called theft.
On numerous occasions, I've heard economists say that if they were given the amount of money that he was from his father,
they would have made way more money
than he did.
He's an idiot. He's not a good negotiator. He
has proxies negotiate for him, and oftentimes what they would do is, or what he would do when he had his casino and he was trying to get fights and stuff there, is basically it was just go outbid everyone. That's not negotiating. That's making sure, okay, that's your best number, I'll give you more than that.
No, you know who that's modeled after? Steinbrenner. That's the Steinbrenner way of doing shit. He thought that he could do the same, and it's like that's not how.
I mean, that would make sense. They were in the same circles, so that would make sense.
He literally copies people.
Except for at least Steinbrenner was successful.
Well, Steinbrenner was an actual businessman, whereas Donald Trump isn't. He's an entertainer. He's a carnival barker. That's what the fuck.
That's the perfect way of putting it. He's a carnival barker.
See, this is what irritates me. If you're poor, you gotta let them know early that there's consequences to your actions. You look at rich little pieces of shit, or I'm not even gonna say rich little pieces of shit, but certain people that fit the ilk of the old guard will get passed. A la that little bastard Rittenhouse, who, wasn't old enough to own the gun, went across state lines with it, and went into an area that was on lockdown. I don't give a fuck what transpired during the event. Everything that led up to it literally was illegal.
I've actually read something from a lawyer who basically stated that the incident that led to the shooting is completely null and void, whether it was a righteous shooting or not. Completely null and void, because what led him to that point
was all illegal.
So it's kind of like, and they gave the example of, I believe the example was basically, you and me are driving, you rear end me. You're at fault. But I'm driving on a suspended license. I'm not supposed to be on the road. So at fault
in
automatically.
A stolen car.
Not even in a stolen car.
No, I shouldn't say in a stolen
Not even
car,
in a stolen car.
Shit wasn't stolen.
Not even in a stolen car. My license, I'm driving on a suspended license, so I'm not even supposed to be on the road. Automatically falls back on me.
Yeah.
Which means that everything leading up to the shooting was illegal on his behalf, meaning that the shooting doesn't matter. He's in the wrong.
Not to mention, he's not a fucking cop. So I was there for EMT duties. Then why are you running around with an AR with no medical equipment? Or even if you had medical equipment, you're not.
If you were there in ER purposes or EMT purposes, you would have a big ass cross on your chest, basically saying medic.
Not standing there with a bunch of fucking white militia being all like, I'm itching for one of these motherfuckers to do something. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And all the arguments for stand your ground.
That wasn't his town. It wasn't his home.
And it
wasn't his
doesn't even matter if
wasn't his state.
Exactly. And those only work if your life is truly in danger. So if I come up to you and go like this, you can't pull a gun on me and shoot me.
Your life is not in danger.
No. Even if I square up,
your life is still not
you're still not in danger. And the what is it, the castle laws? Can't remember the exact term, but it's
stand your ground, or
no, it's not stand your ground. It's where
protecting your domicile or some shit.
Basically, where if it happens in my front yard, I have to retreat back before I can use deadly force until I'm in my house and I can't retreat anymore. So, like, if you were to keep coming and bust in my house, then I can shoot you. Stand your ground is only if your life is in danger.
And he was
instigating. And it doesn't matter if it's a knife, if it's a skateboard, anything like that. It has to be truly life, not maiming, not I might get hurt, I don't really want to fight. Life threatening.
And if he wasn't there walking around, and if he was supposed to be defending that business, why was he then walking around?
And that isn't his place to do either.
No,
that would be the business owner.
And that would be, exactly. No, beyond the business owner, that's literally the job of the fucking police, is to protect property. The problem is, and this is what pisses me off, they always try and make it about, well, they were rioting. No, they weren't. Anytime anybody, and this goes back to the 60s in their playbook, anytime someone peacefully protests, all you have to do is say there's violence, and you can break it up. It's real easy to do. You think they're not doing that? That's bullshit. And how come when these motherfuckers show up to any fucking rally, even their own, they show up armed?
How about the fact that there were numerous peaceful, even if some of them became rowdy and no longer peaceful, numerous started off peacefully. These motherfuckers stormed the Michigan Capitol when the shit got shut down, armed. Yeah, this closer than this to a cop in the Capitol building, armed, not just armed like I have it, hand on the fucking handle.
And you're gonna tell me?
And that's okay. But me saying that, there's problems in the police and protesting it, or there's this or there's that, there's, institutional racism and something needs to be done about it. Me doing that and just yelling it, that's a problem.
It's annoying. And, it comes down to the police unions. They're the biggest fucking problem. I've heard a lot of cops talking about, I got this, they literally found the protocol on how to deal. I think the interview was how to deal with the person trying to suicide by cop. They got the protocol down, how to do it. It works like 98-99% of the time. That's some pretty good shit. Shot down by the union. He tried to get it done nationally. Both unions were like, not happening, not doing it. That's the other problem. And I'm a union guy. I believe in unions.
Oh, they 100% have a place.
I also believe in everything needs to be watched. Everything needs to be held to accountability.
If these unions weren't doing things like that, and you actually held these motherfuckers accountable when they do these things, it's going to make it safer and better for the cops that aren't doing these things. Because now you don't have the same hatred for the cops, because when they fuck up and do something, they're held to the same... Hell, they're supposed to be held to a higher level of accountability than the average citizen.
And remember that commercial when it was, cops pissed about taking fucking the COVID vaccine? This shit irritated me. They're used to giving orders, not taking them. It's a hierarchical system.
On a daily basis, they are being given orders.
Especially by, I don't know, the fucking government, the fucking people who pay you. And by the government, I mean me. Your fucking money comes from me. My tax dollars, his tax dollars, her tax dollars. No, there's nobody else. Down there, them. I'm talking about the devil. Ross Perot. Nah, he's not the devil. He was cool.
Ross Perot.
He's badass, dude. But, I was going somewhere with that, and I lost my train of thought.
Fucking Ross Perot. Came out on fire! Then Ross Perot jumped in, and he just lost it.
Well, then all that came into my mind's eye, and I was all like, damn, they were really doing Ross Perot jokes and all that.
Yeah. Dude, every time I hear Ross Perot, I instantly jump to all that.
With his big ears.
Yeah.
With the big ears.
The big-ass ears.
That's hilarious.
And pizza face.
But policing, we really, really, really need to do something about that, because
Because, again, I'm not
problem.
anti-police. My grandfather was a police officer for 30 years.
Nobody's anti-police. We're getting fucked with.
No, there are
police.
people that are anti-police, and there's a reason they are.
Well, they're, usually criminals.
Yeah.
But even people in the ghetto that are like, oh, I won't talk to the cops, it's usually not because of the cops. It's because I don't want to be seen talking to the cop. Seen as a snitch, then I get shot and killed.
Yep.
But see, that's the problem. If there's enough cops out on the street interacting with the public the way they used to when they live in the goddamn neighborhood.
Between PAL, between foot patrols, between just checking in with things in your neighborhood, between all that stuff. Various neighborhood watch, whatever it is.
Not even that, just having them walking the beat.
Yeah.
Michael A. Smith, I think that's his name. Look him up on Michael A. Smith. Look him up on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was a cop in Baltimore, former Marine, and he was all like, nobody would talk to you because you're in your car. You get out of your car and you walk the neighborhood, you interact. It took a while, but a couple months I'm over there and I'm just jaw-jacking with people, shooting shit. Literally just bullshitting, the way you do. He's not really doing anything, so just walk in the neighborhood. Hey, how you doing, Marcy? Blah, blah, blah. They talk all the time. So now when they're talking, he's all like, oh, how's the kids? They're good, blah, blah, blah. Jeremy's the one that killed that nigga. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, I'll look into that. And then that's all you need. See? Because you have that normal conversation, she could then very nonchalantly pass that shit to him, and then, oh, okay, and then he gives it a couple days, and then he moves on that information.
I don't think it's Michael A. Smith.
It isn't.
I don't think so, because there's nothing like that's coming up for it.
Damn.
So.
All right. What was his name? Look up Michael Smith. Joe Rogan Smith. Try that. It was one of the earlier ones. I want to say like a 580 something, but knowing me, I'm probably hella
way
wrong.
The fuck off, yeah.
Way off. But he was a Baltimore PD officer, and he said a lot. He used to go into one of the abandoned project houses that was always, vacant. There was a homeless dude who used to split time with in that vacant house or apartment, and he'd just look out. What's going on? Who are the dope dealers? Who are the pimps? Who are the pushers? Who are these people that are the ne'er-do-wells, if you will? I'll look for it later.
Michael A. Wood.
Michael A. Wood. See, I told you it was Michael A. Wood Smith. And, so what was it, Michael Wood?
Michael A. Wood Jr.,
Michael
yes.
A. Wood Jr., yeah, I knew it was a junior. Look him up. It's a good podcast because you learn a lot. You learn a lot. When he talks about systematic racism, he goes, that shit's real. He goes, and if you don't believe it's real now, he was like, it was back then. Because he was all like, there's whole places in Baltimore where still on the deed, by law, some homes aren't supposed to be, in certain districts, aren't supposed to be sold to black people. And that technically, I think he said that shit was still on the books, back in like, when I heard that, like 2015 or 16 or whatever, and that's crazy. And there's still a lot of laws like that. Not to mention, the Tuskegee experiment where they knew
Oh, yeah.
what was going on with syphilis, but they're like, fuck it, let's run a 40-year study just giving a bunch of niggas fucking syphilis. Fuck it. Let's just poison 630 some odd people, men, just because,
they also weren't viewed as men.
No, they weren't seen as people, which is fucking hilarious, because it's all like, hold on. If we go back in time, you know what most white people were doing? Living in caves. You know what most Africans were doing? Furthering civilization. And do you see them doing that then? No! Because that's not how shit worked. Really, we should be thanking the Brits for this, because they kind of started all this shit. But, cause and effect. What are you going to do? We really, really, really need to allow the old world to die.
Yeah.
That's all old world shit.
Well, and that's what's going to end up bringing down this country eventually.
Yeah, is these people
holding on to this old world bullshit.
Oh, I seen some lady.
If you let everything evolve, yes, evolution is a thing.
And
it works its way out.
Yeah, and humans in the future, we're not all going to be beige. It's going to continue to be, people living and thriving within their own little, nation states, their little spheres,
little enclaves.
That's how culture works. It's slowly going to get to a lot more of the portion of the planet population being that way, just because humans are drifting away from I see my own kind as hot.
Yeah.
Now it's like growing up, especially growing up in San Francisco, you kind of grow up and you're like, you kind of look way too much like my sister, like my cousin, and I don't like that. I don't like that. That's white chick. I like white. Hey, it's an Asian chick. I like Asian. Here's an Indian chick. No, you're too close to my kind. Get out of here. African chicks. Yeah, I'm black, but we don't got that Kenyan. Come here. What's the other hot one? Nairobi. Holy shit. Especially when you get a good mixture is the Swiss with some of them with Africans. You're like, dude, that's not fair. Ethiopians. They're the other one that have a super hot ass. Look at Iman.
Yeah.
She's like 80 and you're like, holy shit. Like, holy shit, she is. She's really hot. Downtown Julie Brown. She's still hot. Pam Grier.
Yeah.
She's still hot.
She
Michelle
stood the test of
Nichols.
time.
85. You're like, God damn, like, you are really pretty for an 85-year-old. Holy shit. Betty White, she was cool. She looked like grandma. She's just really cool, but, well, she was 99.
Hilarious.
She was 99.
She was fucking hilarious.
Betty was awesome. So was B. B. Arthur was a boss. She was a Marine.
Yeah, I know.
They need to do a movie.
We did that.
They need to do a movie on B. Arthur. B. Arthur would be cool. Or Boudica. Boudica would be a good movie.
Yeah.
That would be a good movie. Hey, we killed your husband. Come here, bitch. You're mine. Hold up real quick while I escape with my people. I'm going to rally my people. Then, I'm going to rally that motherfucker's people. I'm going to rally his people. And I'm going to bust your head with my axe starting now. And she did. She was badass. And this was a chick against the Romans. Granted, they were the Romans that were like, God damn it, I'm so fucking sick of being here. this weather sucks, the people suck, the food sucks, the water sucks, the grass sucks, the Welsh are over there screwing goats and sheep. You know, it's all Scots. They're pretty cool. The English don't like them. You know, even though, actually, no, it was the other way around. They liked the English.
Yeah,
they
didn't
hated
like
the
the
Scots.
Scots,
They
yeah.
couldn't. The Scots were like, yeah, bring your ass up here and I'll shove my sword up your butt. And and they were pretty far. I mean, at that point, you know, it was.
And the weather's
they
a little
were
bit harsher up there, too.
And you got a bunch of tiny ass Italians like, dude, I do not like the cold. I'm in this skirt. Yeah, I get it's armor, but it's cold, bro. I don't like
And
this.
the Scots were a little
I don't
fucking
like
nutty, too.
Germany.
When it came to fucking battle.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, look at where they are. It's horrible as shit. It's just foggy all the time. All of the time. All of the time. And they just didn't want to be up there. It's not their climate. Which is why they should have been like, all right, we need to rein it in, pull it back.
It was the classic situation you saw in a lot of civilizations and kingdoms at that time.
The empire just got super bloated.
They overextended their reach.
And I find it hella funny that the Romans were like, damn, you know, we weren't able to conquer these people. Then Western Rome falls, give it 400 or 500 years, and then everybody in Western Europe is all like, we're the mantle of Rome! And it's all like, wait, but they fought them off so they wouldn't be known as that. Like, why the fuck are you reverting to that when technically you're not? The Byzantine Empire are technically, you know, the Romans.
Yeah.
And they just recently kind of went to the wayside. You know, what? When did the Ottomans come about?
Come about?
Or not come about, but finally, like, sweep into that area. It was like 16-something or 15-something.
I think it was the 17th century, so 1600s.
Look it up. There's plenty of history channels on YouTube
shit.
that are very good. Very good. Indeed. You know where I want to go? I don't know why that reminded me of Jamaica. But, well, I guess...
Why the fuck did that remind you?
A lot of Jamaicans go up to England.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know if they migrated up to Scotland, but, you know...
That would be an interesting conversation to sit in on.
Yeah, right? Or an Irishman with a...
Dude, just get the trio together.
Right? Hey, oh no, man. Oh no, what's the one that, Screwface? Did you ever see Marked for Death? With Steven Seagal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Jamaicans. Yep.
Screwface, give me 1,000 F worth than you. And then he just jumps out the window. I was all like, God, I love this movie. With Steven running. It's like, why? Just don't allow people to film you running, bro.
Right? Like, you just teleport, bro. Like, that was...
Yeah, that...
Hey, those of you listening and didn't see our reenactment of Steven Seagal, just go watch a video of Steven Seagal
go look up
Steven Seagal running.
It's hilarious.
I mean, his elbows are in.
Toddler.
His elbows are in, but his hands just kind of flap.
It looks like when you're 7 and you're effing around with running.
Yeah.
He's... That guy is something else. He is something. Hey, you're a traitor, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, and don't ever come back to the United. Actually, no. I want to see you come back, and I want the fight between you and Van Damme, because apparently. So to set this up, Steven Seagal went on Arsenio Hall's show, which was awesome, and I knew that as a child. But he went on there. And Arsenio was like, so how do you feel about, or something about, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme? And Seagal was all like, I don't think he's a champion anywhere, like in anything. And everybody in the crowd, it's the 90s. Ooh, right? And he's just sitting there all like dorky. I'm a boss. And then Arsenio's all like, he's sitting there like, that nigga whoop your ass. Arsenio ain't no punk, too. To be honest, I believe Arsenio probably, in all honesty, probably would have whooped his ass. And Eddie. I believe
he would have whooped Eddie's ass for sure.
No, Eddie would have whooped Steven's ass. Because, he could fight, but, damn, what's his name? Some Chinese guys in the MMA, and he does Chinese boxing, and then started doing, which is legit, and started doing other, MMA, and just started whooping all these kung fu masters' asses. Started mopping the floor with them. So, and Segal Aikido kinda falls within the realm of you have to be doing Aikido for Aikido to work. You can't, some shit translates, but most shit don't. And Jean-Claude Van Damme did,
he was a kickboxer.
I think he Savat. That's like, French kickboxing is just under Thai kickboxing.
And Thai kickboxing is
the tops.
Yeah.
It's the tops. But Savat is literally like right in there with it. So, and I think and he did a little bit of karate. And karate does, especially, what is it? Whatever Lyoto Machida does.
Ray Lyoto Machida?
Yeah. Kyokushin karate, I think it is. That shit translates beautifully.
Well, and beyond, like, getting into that, and then you look at Prime Van Damme versus...
you see that motherfucker?
Oh, dude, Prime Van Damme was ridiculous. Yeah,
Let's do this, ma.
That dude was a massive
the muscles
cokehead.
oh man, but they're at
But yeah, and so you have the fighting abilities, plus Van Damme was in stupid shape.
Yeah, he was
where
conditioned.
Segal
they're
wasn't.
at, dude. So get this. I forgot where I heard this, but Segal is at a party. Well, no, Segal and Van Damme are at a party thrown by Sylvester Stallone.
Wow.
They're there, and Sly was all like, "Oh, we're gonna watch this motherfucking fight." He didn't do that shit on accident.
No, yeah.
That was on purpose.
He was that motherfucker in the corner like, we're going to get those two together?
He
and
enjoys fighting. So they get there, and Van Damme at this point is like, I'm tired of you running your motherfucking mouth. We're doing it now. And he challenged them to a fight, and Seagal's like, not happening. Van Damme's like, bro, I'm taking off my shirt. It's happening. I'm ripping these buttons. This is $30,000 Louis Vuitton motherfucking shirt, overpriced ass shit. And Segal was like, nope, and he left. Bitched out. And, be the coke fucking rage head that he was, Van Damme was, I'm gonna find you. Found him at a club, I don't know, later that night or like the next night, was like, what's up? Let's make it happen. He was
not taking no for an answer. No. He was Deshaun Watsoning his ass. He was not taking no for an answer.
Yeah, for real. Van Damme was Deshaun, and Segal was that massage therapist.
He wasn't taking no for an answer. And oh my God, he would have mopped the floor.
Oh, he would have beat his ass.
Segal. Oh my.
Segal's taller too.
Segal's like a decent chunk taller too. Like Van Damme's not that tall of a dude.
Van Damme's
especially
around
at that
our
time.
height.
Yeah, he's like 5'8" to 5'10" ish, I think. Right in that range. And Segal's like 6'2", yeah.
6'3".
So, but dude, legit, if you've never seen any of Van Damme, like Prime Van Damme's movies, just go back and look at a picture of Prime Van Damme. Like, that dude was jacked. And he could fight.
Bloodsport?
Bloodsport's a good one.
Bloodsport's a good one.
Another one, terrible movie.
Universal Soldier?
That was not a terrible movie. That was a great movie.
Yeah, I love
that. Yeah. Double Team with Rodman.
Yeah.
But there's a couple scenes in there where he's like working out using like a tub and shit. That dude's muscles had muscles.
He was yoked.
in many ways. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And man.
But, and again, like he said,
I think like 10
he
grand a
could
week.
fight. Jesus Christ, could you?
Or no, yeah.
It probably
Or 2
was.
grand, 2 to 10. Could you imagine? That's a
Fuck,
lot,
10, like $2,000 a week on coke. Just coke. Not any other facet of life. Just coke. $2,000 a week. And that's part of the reason that he disappeared from the limelight for a very long time, is he really went down that hole. And that's why that's part of why he looks the way he does now, is because
cocaine psychosis is a thing. You start getting super fucking paranoid. Super paranoid. Listen to Joey Diaz go down, his little fucking tales of.
So it's
coke.
not. I haven't seen a ton of his more recent stuff, but it's nice to see that he came out of it and is back into the realm of acting. Van Damme, that is, not Segal.
Oh, he needs to stop.
But he, it's good to see that, and it's not that Van Damme was a great actor, but it's like he got clean and he got his way back out there. But if you look at his face now, like you look at his face in the mid-90s, like he would be considered a heartthrob. Like
he was.
Yeah.
Everybody, all the fucking that was literally a selling point for a lot of his movies.
Yeah. And you look at him now, and it's that coke. Like, yeah, granted, he is older. He's, 50s, 60s, whatever it is now.
Fucking cocaine is.
But that cocaine aged him so much. Like, he looks like he went through some shit. But, yeah, I would, even today, I would love to see that fight.
Yeah.
Because, granted, Van Damme is a lot older now, so is Segal, and he, Van Damme went through his shit, but he's still in pretty good fucking shape.
I really don't believe that Segal would step foot back in the United States. He's a Russian asset. Dennis Rodman, by the way, is headed over to Russia.
Yeah, to try and get Brittany Griner out. Like,
hey, say what you want.
That dude is
lightweight, under the radar. That nigga has opened quite a few doors across the motherfucker.
That dude has led a very interesting life. Like, go down the Dennis Rodman rabbit hole. That dude has led a very interesting life. Coming from, he came into the league.
Madonna was gonna pay him to give her a child. Reportedly.
The man married Carmen Electra. The man married himself. The man fucking.
Well, I mean, you gotta marry yourself.
Like you just go down the Dennis Rodman rabbit hole one time and just really look at the events of this man's life. He was working at an airport before going, and then all of a sudden it's like, I think he hit a growth spurt or something. Walks on at a junior college, goes to a small college, gets drafted into the NBA, and mind you, he's a lot older than the average rookie. And it's funny looking at pictures of him at that stage, and then by the end of his career, like at that stage, like, to put it simply, he looked like a square. He was a kid who, like,
yeah, he did a complete about face.
Yeah, like,
I guess, hey, Madonna's pussy must be really off the charts. Or, excuse me, I ain't gonna lie, she looks creepy as shit now.
She does look creepy as shit now, like.
But I'd still fuck her. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's because I seen her as a kid and it was just all like, whoa. Not even really whoa, more like she's kind of slutty, and I don't know, this like that trashy. She kind of hit that trashy button. Every once in a while, a certain trashy broad will be like, hey, horse blinders on. You don't need no fucking scabies. Fucking get syphilis turned into Al Capone.
Syphilis syntax O.
Yep. Or syntax B, nigga. Fucking. Oh shit! Look at the time. But go look up stories of celebrities talking shit about Steven Seagal. He got in a fight with Jean LaBelle. Jean LaBelle put him in a hold, choked him out. He shit himself. Yup. Look up stories of people talking shit about Steven Seagal.
It sucks because it's like I grew up on his movies.
Yeah, I thought he was cool.
And he just turned out to be a right piece of shit.
And then I started watching like some of his movies.
And then you hear the allegations from one of his ex-wives that he basically raped her. Like she
That
didn't.
scales.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Like she didn't want to have sex, and he said, "Oh yeah, we are," which full circle to Deshaun Watson.
Anybody who talks like this in a whisper, thinking that they're a tough guy, in every movie he does, he whispers like this. You're like, what? What? Huh? Speak
What's
up.
funny is the fucking camera probably didn't pick up any of that.
So, see? That's his movies. Those are his movies. He's a douche. But I gotta go, go look up, I don't know, go look up something.
Yeah. Hey.
No, go look up what was it, Mulberry?
A Mulberry, Arkansas.
Yeah, go look up those fantastical cops. They do a good job of beating someone defenseless.
But yeah, hey, Deshaun Watson, piece of shit. Issued a apology, quote unquote, and Steven Seagal.
It wasn't an apology, it was an apology.
That's why.
Apologies are different. Apologies means sorry. Apology means
Why am I doing this shit? Yeah, leave me alone. And Steven Seagal, right piece of shit. Van Damme would have whooped his ass.
Yeah.
He really would have. And yeah. Y'all take care. We'll see you next week. Hit that like, subscribe, comment down below, tell your friends, spread the word. Let's get some more people watching this shit.
Yeah, I want to get paid to do nothing.
Yeah, I want to get paid to talk to you. I'm sorry, not talk to you, talk at you.
And I want you to allow me to do so. Nah. All right, everybody, have a good one. The American dream, not doing shit and getting paid for it. Oh, look up Joey Diaz cocaine stories. They're great.
All right, take care, y'all.
Deuces, 22